What's up guys, and welcome back to another video here on B Mills Wrestling. In today's video, I'm going to be predicting the WWE Evolution 2 match card. Before we get into the video, if you guys are not already, make sure to subscribe to the channel and don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss any new videos. And don't forget to leave a like down below. Alright guys, let's get into this video. The first match on this Evolution card has actually already been announced, and that is Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. Now, this one, I kind of can go either way with. Obviously, we've seen the match before. Io Sky is, I believe, 4-0 in her career against Rhea Ripley. So, I'm kind of thinking they're going to give this one to Rhea. I don't know if I exactly love this being on the card. Just because, we've seen it so many times recently. I kind of wanted Io Sky to be in new, fresh feuds for the world title. Her world title reign ever since WrestleMania has been booked horribly. Especially after the great build up to WrestleMania with the feud with Bianca and Rhea. The match was probably match of the night, a top 2 match for sure. But just ever since WrestleMania, she has not had one single feud. They teased her and Liv Morgan, but then right after that, Liv Morgan is on the shelf, right, with the injury. So, now it's been, I believe, over 60 days since WrestleMania, and she just hasn't defended the title once. So, that's really bad on WWE's part, but we are going to get this match with Rhea Ripley. So if this is the end of Io Sky's title reign, it was a bad title reign, but it's not her fault. They just didn't book her well enough. They didn't put her into enough good feuds. So it just kind of feels like, oh, to make up for the bad title reign that we just gave Io, we're just going to give the title back to Rhea, which it's just stupid. I don't really like that at all. But it should be a really good match. These two do have really good chemistry in the ring. I am excited for it from an in-ring standpoint. But the feud, there's not really a storyline. They're both baby faces, but I do expect Rhea Ripley to walk out of Evolution 2 as the new Women's World Champion. Do I want that to happen? No. I wanted Io to hold this belt to at least SummerSlam, but I just have a feeling that they're not going to have Rhea lose again to Io Sky. I really do want the Io versus Asuka match at SummerSlam for the world title. That's what I wanted. Whether Asuka won Queen of the Ring or not, maybe she just earned it a different way. But if Io loses, it looks like, that match won't have the title on the line. Maybe we still get the match, but it would have been cool to see that match for the world title. I just feel like WWE wants Rhea Ripley to hold the world title going into SummerSlam just because she is their biggest star for the female wrestlers. I just feel like, obviously she's not going to miss SummerSlam, but I feel like they just want their biggest superstars to hold the titles going into SummerSlam. So I do think that they're going to kind of cuck Io Sky and give the title back to Rhea. The next match on this Evolution card has not been fully announced, but we do know that Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, who is filling in for Liv Morgan, will defend their women's tag titles in a fatal 4-way match against a team from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. I am super excited for this match because the tag titles need saving, so I'm hoping that this can be the start of that. But the teams that I have in this match that Raquel and Roxanne will be defending against are Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss from SmackDown, the Bella Twins from Raw, and Zarya and Sol Ruca from NXT. I think that this is kind of an easy one to predict. I think the Bella Twins, I'm kind of because I don't know if Brie's going to return, but I do think Nikki obviously is going to be on this card. I thought the initial plan was going to be Nikki and Brie versus Raquel and Liv for the tag titles. Maybe it was just going to be Nikki versus Liv. Maybe I'm wrong. But I do obviously expect Nikki to still be on this Evolution card. So I think if Brie does come back, this is pretty obvious. As for Zarya and Sol Ruca, they're kind of like one of the only tag teams for the women down in NXT. And they're a popular tag team. The fans really love them. Sol Ruca is really good. So I do expect them to be in this match to represent NXT because I really can't think of any other team that would. A lot of people just got released, like Jakara Jackson to her and Lash Legend. That was an NXT team that was kind of up on SmackDown and Raw competing for tag titles. So I don't expect any other team from NXT other than Sol Ruca and Zarya. And then going to SmackDown, I said Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. I think that's an easy one as well. They've obviously been teasing Alexa and Charlotte teaming up together. Alexa telling Charlotte, you need friends around here. We're two veterans. So, it's obviously bound to happen at some point. Obviously, I don't see the two of these women needing to be in the world title picture for the foreseeable future because I feel like the world title picture on SmackDown is pretty stacked right now. You have Jade Cargill, who's obviously getting a match at SummerSlam. Then you obviously are going to have Naomi, who's going to cash in. So right now, Charlotte and Alexa, they just need to do something else away from the world title. And this is exactly it. And I said that the women's tag division needs saving. And they can save it because I think that they will win this match and walk out of Evolution as the new women's tag champions. Now, I could be wrong on this, but I don't think the Bella Twins are going to win this. I think they're there for the one-off, right? They're there to come back for the second ever Evolution, and then they're going to leave again. I don't expect like another run from Nikki and Brie. I wouldn't mind it at all, but I just don't expect it. Zarya and Sol Ruca, they're in NXT. Sol Ruca already has like 2 titles right now, so I don't expect them to win the tag titles. So in my opinion, it's either Raquel and Roxanne retaining or Charlotte and Alexa winning. And I really do want to see Charlotte and Alexa win because I think that would just be super interesting to see them hold those titles. They would elevate the titles so much, kind of like we saw Jade and Bianca do, how they elevated the titles. I think that's exactly what WWE wants and needs, frankly. I also think they obviously want Charlotte to get more positive reactions than getting booed, and I think pairing her with Alexa Bliss is absolutely perfect. So I do think that Charlotte and Alexa Bliss will win the tag titles at Evolution 2. Next match that has already been announced for this Evolution card is a women's battle royal. The winner goes on to face a world champion of their choosing at Clash in Paris, which is a little after SummerSlam. Super excited for this. I love that they're having something on the line for this battle royal. They're not just going, oh, you win the battle royal, you're the Evolution Battle Royal winner, you can always hold on to that. No, like there's actually something on the line. You win, you get a world title shot at Clash in Paris, which is absolutely huge. So I have 3 candidates that I could see winning this. I'm going to just say they're my final 3 in the Battle Royal, and that is Lash Legend, Stephanie Vaquer, and Asuka. Now, I'm confident in these 3. I know Lash Legend's one that's like, but I think that, WWE sees a lot in her. I think they see a lot of potential in her, just her build, her physique. Like, she could be like a Jade Cargill type, but probably better. She, from an in-ring standpoint, she is better than Jade Cargill. So I really do think that she could be something in WWE. She just has the size, right, to be like a dominant world champion one day. So I would really like to see her in the final 3 of this match. We saw her in the Royal Rumble as well. Like I said before, like we've seen her compete for tag titles. So like it's not out of the realm that she could be in this final 3, and WWE could start to kind of tease that they're going to give her a push soon when she does come up to the main roster. I don't expect her to win this. It would be a crazy swerve, and I wouldn't mind it at all, but I just don't think it's going to happen. The next 2 that I said, Asuka and Stephanie Vaquer, they're my favorites in this match. I think you can't go wrong with either one of them. Now, if Io Sky does retain against Rhea and she holds the title past SummerSlam, then you can get Io versus Asuka. I think that's the dream match we're all just anticipating. We're waiting for it. SummerSlam to me sounds perfect, but I don't know if that's going to happen with Rhea potentially winning the title back. So that is not an option. And even if it's not Io, I think a lot of people would still like to see Asuka versus Rhea Ripley for the world title at Clash in Paris. I think that would be totally fine. As for Stephanie Vaquer, she's obviously one of my favorite on the main roster. She's just super over, obviously an incredible in-ring worker. I think she's due for something, right? Ever since she got called up, right? She was in the Money in the Bank. She got an awesome showcase. She looked great in the match. Ever since then, we're not seeing anything much from her. So I'm hoping that this could be the start, right? Especially if she misses SummerSlam, which I'm gonna be a little bummed out if she misses a SummerSlam card. But as of right now, it doesn't really look like she's gonna have a match. So this would be awesome, like to have her get a world title match at Clash in Paris. I would absolutely be down for that, especially if it's Stephanie versus Io. I mean, that's a dream match as well. We talk about Asuka versus Io. Stephanie versus Io is another dream match. This is why I want Io to just hold the world title, because of all these dream matches. Now, Stephanie Vaquer and Rhea Ripley as well, that's also obviously a dream match, but I feel like that's more like a WrestleMania match, maybe like WrestleMania 42, 43, whatever it is. I think they should wait to WrestleMania for that. But for Io and Stephanie, I would love to see that at Clash in Paris. Io and Stephanie, Io and Asuka, like those are 2 feuds that could help Io Sky's title reign so much. It could lift it up from being like literally in the dirt right now, just sky's the limit. Like if they would just make the right decisions, but they don't put her in these type of feuds. If they just have her lose to Rhea Ripley, this title reign is just going to be so underwhelming. But like I said, I think that Stephanie Vaquer will win this Women's Battle Royal and go on to face, hopefully, Io Sky, but also maybe Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship at Clash in Paris. The next match that has already been announced for this Evolution card is Jacy Jayne defending her NXT Women's Championship against Jordynne Grace. Now, I don't watch a whole ton of NXT, but I obviously know who these 2 are. I know enough about what's going on right now, and I don't think that Jordynne Grace should win this match. Don't get me wrong, I would like to see her as NXT Women's Champion, but I think that she's kind of ready for the main roster. Like, I'd like to see her get called up. It was rumored that she was going to come up with Stephanie and Roxanne Perez and Julia, but she didn't. So I think that this might be, maybe her last match in NXT before they send her to the main roster. I could be wrong about that, but I don't see her winning this. I think Jacy Jayne, her title reign is too fresh, it's too new. I think that they want to have her continue to have feuds. I think that the ultimate end game for her title reign is probably Mariah May or Blake Monroe, as she is being called now. So I don't expect Jordynne Grace to win this match because I think that Blake Monroe will be the one to dethrone Jacy Jayne. Like I said, I do expect Jacy Jayne to defeat Jordynne Grace in this match and retain her NXT Women's Championship. The next match on this Evolution card is not officially announced, but I think that it will be pretty soon, and that is Becky Lynch defending her Women's Intercontinental Championship against both Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Now, this has been probably the best built feud on Monday Night Raw right now. On SmackDown, I think it's Jacob versus Solo. I think that's the best feud going. This feud just been so good. It's ever since it started at WrestleMania with Becky taking out Bayley, replacing her in the tag match, them winning the titles, her winning the titles with Lyra, I should say, and then losing the day after, Becky turning. The matches that Becky and Lyra had were super good, and then Bayley coming back. Now you've got tension between Bayley and Lyra. You just had that match on Raw where it was essentially they both won, right? So obviously they're both going to be wanting that Intercontinental Championship match. Where else are you going to do it other than Evolution? It's the perfect spot. Obviously, reward these females for having such a great feud and storyline by putting them on this Evolution card. I wouldn't even be mad if this was the main event. I know that it won't be because that's probably going to be Io versus Rhea, but this would still be super cool to see because of how well it's been built. As for who wins this match, I don't know. I could see a world where Becky retains. I think that's the most logical one because she didn't win too long ago. Bayley is obviously an option. I think it's hard. I really think you have to look at, okay, who can have the best match and feud going into SummerSlam? If this feud ends at Evolution, what can you do with the champion going into SummerSlam? And I think that Becky Lynch, perhaps, versus a Stephanie Vaquer at SummerSlam for the world title, or for the IC title, I'm sorry, I think that could be something that, they'd be interested in. Now, I know I said I want Stephanie to win the Women's Battle Royal, but if she doesn't, this could be, something for her to start off. If they don't want to immediately throw her into the world title feuds, I think putting her into the women's IC title mix with these women right here, I think that would be perfect. Bayley, I'm not really too sure who she would feud with going into SummerSlam. Same thing with Lyra Valkyria. I'm sure there could be somebody, but I think that Becky versus Stephanie, or even like a Becky versus Asuka, maybe, I think those could be absolute money matches for SummerSlam. So I do think Becky Lynch will retain her title in this match. And finally, that brings me to the last match on this Evolution card that has not been officially announced, but it has been rumored, and that is Trish Stratus taking on Tiffany Stratton for the Women's Championship. Now, I'd absolutely be down for this. I don't know how good it would be from an in-ring standpoint, but this is just like a dream match, I think, for a lot of people. Kind of like Charlotte and Tiffany was. Obviously, that didn't pan out. Maybe this can. Obviously, there's history between them, with Trish and Tiffany teaming up at Elimination Chamber to go against Nia and Candice LeRae. I think they can bring that up. Trish, is expected to appear on SmackDown. I think it was being taped, so I think she was in the building. So it's going to happen, trust me. But like I said, there is some history. You can lean on, I helped you out in your tag match, right? So now you can help me out by giving me this world title opportunity at Evolution. They are both babyfaces, so not sure exactly if this will set up like a Tiffany heel turn again. That would be a pretty short run as a babyface, but it could be possible, especially with Tiffany and Jade being the match at SummerSlam. They're both babyfaces. Not saying that can't work, but I'm not sure. But this hopefully wouldn't be like a terrible match. I don't think it would main event at all, but it can't hurt really to see these two in the ring. I think that Trish kind of defined women's wrestling back in the 2000s, right? And now Tiffany Stratton is like the 2020s, right? It's kind of like two generations clashing. Two fan favorites as well. Everyone loves Trish. Everyone loves Tiffany. People would have a hard time with who they want to root for in this match. That's just another reason I think it would be awesome. Obviously, I wouldn't expect Trish to win this match. I don't expect her to be around after Evolution, kind of like Nikki Bella and potentially Brie Bella. I think they're just coming back for one-offs to be on this Evolution card and then go away. So I do expect Tiffany Stratton to retain her title in this match against Trish Stratus and go on to her match at SummerSlam against Jade Cargill. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys like this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Don't forget to comment down below what future videos you guys want to see from me. Alright guys, peace.